You are listening from Lee Swift Book.
Hello to all of you who are searching for a better version of yourselves. Welcome back to Lee Swift Book, the place where we dive into the kind of knowledge that elevates your inner world, one meaningful book at a time. Have you ever felt exhausted because your inner life is constantly stirred by intense emotions? Lingering sadness, quiet jealousy, sudden bursts of anger, or invisible fears that seem to take control? Do you often slip into a low mood, unsure how to face it or climb back out? And have you ever looked back at the mistakes you made, those hurtful words spoken in a moment of anger, and wished you could take them back? If your answer is yes, then the psychology book we're re-exploring today might just be the guiding compass you've been waiting for. Though its title may vary across editions, the heart of this work, the power of emotion, love, anger, joy, brings us back to a profound idea from the great Chinese philosopher Wang Yangming. It is easy to capture the thief in the mountains, but hard to capture the thief within the heart. These thieves of the heart, in Eastern philosophy, are the swirling forces of that Th Luke Duke, the 7 emotions and human desires that have followed us since the moment we were born. Emotions are not our enemies. They are living currents of energy, our earliest, most primal source of vitality, and this book promises to walk beside you as we unravel the 7 fundamental emotional states that shape our inner landscape. Our goal is not to erase emotion, but to decode it, to understand it so clearly that we can protect our own emotional world, understand what others feel, and most importantly, transform these raw energies into a positive force that helps us face life with clarity and strength. This profound journey is brought to us by 2 respected experts. Renowned psychiatrist V.C.R. Lay, who practiced in both France and the United States, and psychologist Christopher. And now, they will guide us into the heart of this emotional odyssey. Now, let's dive into the core philosophy of this book, the necessity of emotion. So many of us long for a state of perfect stillness, a life where the heart no longer trembles, where nothing can disturb our inner peace. Imagine for a moment a magical remedy called the elixir of the soul. It promises you unwavering calm in every situation. No matter what chaos crashes into your life, your expression remains untouched, your heart unshaken, smooth and silent, like a mirror of water. Isn't that the ultimate dream for anyone searching for serenity? Most of us would reach for that pill without a second thought. But the authors warn us, before you make that choice, you must understand its dangerous side effects. First, without emotional influence, you would grow indifferent to life itself. Second, stripping away vulnerability also strips away fear, pushing you toward reckless decisions that endanger yourself and others. Third, your memory dulls, and your capacity for sound judgment weakens. And worst of all, your ability to truly connect with other human beings would slowly fade. After hearing these consequences, would you still take that peaceful heart potion? Yes, emotions can wound us, but they are also what give life its color, its texture, its meaning. They allow us to form deep human connections. They drive us, move us, shape us. And in truth, emotion is the earliest and most powerful source of energy within every one of us. To harness this force, we must first understand its structure. Every emotion is made of 3 tightly interwoven components: physiology, cognition, and behavior. It flows through you like a current, sparking bodily reactions, rising blood pressure, a racing heart, shaping your thoughts, like the narrowing of perspective when anger takes hold, and finally pushing you toward action. And so, our journey begins with the emotion most people struggle with every single day, the one that frustrates us, frightens us, and often controls us more than we'd like to admit: anger. Nuban muon, toiko the tiep tuk dichfan, tuk jian, hoak chuyen joan naitan fien ban toi ucho video YouTube 20 foot. Doi jai la bandich tiang an theo jung fongkach storytelling, van chuong, kam ksuk, tun hien hu loi dan chuyen. Giung guyen ting then triet li, A jong hung mod ma va de tiep han voi han gia fuong. Tai. Now, let us step deeper into the central philosophy of this book, the necessity of emotion. Many of us dream of reaching a state of absolute tranquility, a place where the heart no longer stirs, where nothing in this world can shake our inner balance. Imagine a miraculous cure called the Soul's Remedy, a pill that promises the ability to stay calm in every situation. No matter what trouble erupts around you, your face remains unchanged, and your heart stays still, as smooth and quiet as a sheet of glass. Isn't it this what so many people long for when they seek perfect peace of mind? Most of us would buy that remedy instantly. But before we decide, the authors warn us of its serious side effects. First, without emotional waves, you would become indifferent to life itself. Second, when you no longer feel vulnerable, you also stop feeling fear, making you prone to dangerous behaviors that could harm you and others. Third, your memory weakens, and your ability to judge situations grows dull. And worst of all, you would find yourself struggling, deeply, to form meaningful human connections. After hearing all of this, would you still want to take that tranquil heart pill? Yes, emotions can cause pain, but they also give life its unique flavor. They are the bridge that allows us to form genuine bonds with others. In truth, emotion is the fuel that moves us forward, the earliest and most primal source of human energy. To harness this energy fully, we must first understand its structure. Every emotion contains 3 tightly linked components: the physiological, the cognitive, and the behavioral. It moves through you like a living current, triggering bodily reactions, your pulse quickening, your blood pressure rising, altering your thoughts, like the way anger narrows your vision, and ultimately shaping your actions. And so we begin with the emotion that troubles most of us on a daily basis, the one that flares up unexpectedly, the one we regret the most once it has passed: anger. When we talk about anger, we often see 2 opposite extremes in people's behavior. On one side, there are those who explode the moment fury rises, slamming doors, breaking things, or lashing out at everyone around them. On the other side are those who swallow their rage whole, suppressing every sign of irritation until nothing shows on the surface. The book emphasizes that when dealing with anger, neither explosion nor suppression is the right way. What we must do instead is face it directly, understand the root of it, and work toward a real solution. But why do we get angry in the first place? The authors condense what seems like a complex emotional storm into 4 simple causes. First, you get angry because something happened that you didn't want. Second, you feel that someone intentionally caused that outcome. Third, the situation violates your personal values, those core principles that define who you are. And finally, the most important reason of all, you get angry because you believe you can control the situation. In other words, you give yourself permission to be angry. Imagine this. You're walking through a forest and suddenly come face to face with a wild tiger. Would you get angry? Of course not. You would be terrified, because you understand completely that you cannot control the situation. But take the legendary folk hero Vo Tong, for example. Because he believed he could control the situation, he used his anger as fuel to confront the beast. This leads us to a difficult truth. Many times, when you lose your temper at someone you love, the real reason is simple. You believe you can control them. You assume that no matter what hurtful words you say, they will not leave you. They will not resist you. But this is a dangerous belief. You must remember, no one is incapable of walking away from you. Not your closest family members, not your loyal colleagues, not the people who love you most. Those who tolerate your anger usually fall into only 2 categories. They either genuinely love you and choose to forgive you, or they are afraid of you. And if fear is the foundation of that relationship, it will never be sincere, never open, never whole. So how do we handle anger in a healthy, civilized way? Begin with an inner dialogue. Question your own beliefs. What makes you think others must act according to your expectations? Is that belief fair or even realistic? Once you understand the root, reduce the triggers. If a colleague constantly frustrates you, instead of stewing in resentment, look for ways to improve the situation or improve yourself, so the trigger loses its power. Learn to think from another person's perspective. Buddhist philosophy teaches that anger arises from an inflated ego. When the ego sits too high, everything becomes an offense. But when you step into someone else's shoes, when you understand the reasons behind their actions, you may realize that anger was never necessary at all. Do not attack the person, attack the behavior. When anger first sparks, focus only on what they did, not who they are. Instead of saying, "Why can't you ever do anything right?" say, "This part wasn't done correctly." One labels the person, the other addresses the action. Think carefully before expressing anything. When you're angry, do not text, do not post online, do not snap back immediately. Give yourself space to cool down. And for balance, when you're extremely happy, you also shouldn't agree too quickly to anything. Give the other person time to speak. Their actions may not have been intentional. They may not have violated your principles at all. You just interpreted it that way in the heat of the moment. Leave the situation if you cannot control yourself. Turn away. Walk out. If you're furious at your child, for example, say, "I need a moment to calm down. I'm going to rest for a bit." Then step outside or into another room. This is one of the most effective ways to prevent escalation. And finally, learn to let go. Release the grip of perfection. When you accept that not everything must bend to your will, anger naturally softens. But there is another side of the spectrum. Many people today lack healthy anger altogether. They suppress it excessively because of beliefs like, "I must always stay composed or others will think I'm immature," or "I should never hurt anyone." These beliefs, often planted in childhood, don't make you calm. They make you numb. And prolonged suppression can lead to depression, psychological collapse, even physical illness. Instead of saying, "I must always control myself," try a healthier perspective. It's right to be angry when I have valid reasons, but I'm also allowed to make mistakes. I won't be too harsh on myself. Instead of saying, "Everyone must like me," tell yourself, "I hope people accept me, but I don't need everyone to love me." And that concludes our exploration of the first emotion, anger. Next, we move into another intricate inner drama, one equally powerful in shaping our daily lives, envy. Moving on from anger, we now arrive at a far more subtle and complex inner script, the emotion of envy. In everyday life, it is nearly impossible to look at someone as face and declare with certainty that they feeling envious. Envy does not explode outward the way anger does. It is an internal drama, a quiet but wrenching ache that unfolds deep within us. Imagine visiting an old friend. You both started from the same place. Perhaps you were even the more accomplished one back then. But now, standing in their beautiful home, observing their peaceful family and prosperous life, you feel something stirring beneath your calm exterior. Your face may remain composed, smooth as an undisturbed lake, but inside, a gentle unrest, a faint sadness, begins to rise. Many people mistake this emotion for jealousy, but the authors draw a very clear distinction. According to psychologists, envy is directed toward the happiness, achievements, or material success of others. Jealousy, which we'll explore later, emerges when something you value feels threatened by someone else. The authors divide envy into 3 common types. Depressive envy. Those who fall into this category retreat inward when they witness someone else's success. They think, "Good things will never happen to me," or "I'm just unlucky." This form of envy drains their energy and makes them want to step out of life's race entirely. Hostile envy. This type is much more visible. They think, How could someone like them possibly achieve that? People with inflated egos, who believe no one can surpass them, often respond by criticizing, gossiping, or trying to tarnish the other person's reputation. Admiring envy. This is the healthiest form. Such a person acknowledges, "He truly deserved that promotion," and then quietly adds, "I will work harder myself." Clearly, envy can either fuel growth or destroy peace, depending on whether it is positive or toxic. Toxic envy, depressive and hostile, harms not only others, but also the one who carries it. If envy leaves you wounded, discouraged, or drained of motivation, it's essential to confront and manage it immediately. But how? 4 steps to transforming envy. Step 1. Acknowledge it honestly. This is the hardest step. Be brave enough to admit what you feel, even to the person you envy. For example, "I'm honestly envious of you. This home is the kind of place I've always dreamed of." Speaking this truth out loud brings an immediate sense of relief for both you and the other person. Step 2. Shift toward positive expression. Instead of sinking into sadness, move toward a higher emotional state, joy for others. Tell them, "I know buying a house isn't easy. This took you years of effort. I'm genuinely happy for you." Step 3. Examine your ego. Ask yourself, are you feeling inferior? Or is your ego inflated, demanding that you must always be better than others? People who constantly seek to showcase their best side often fall into unnecessary envy, because when they fail to meet their own expectations, they suffer. Step 4. Diminish the illusion of others' superiority. According to the authors, the superiority of others is often nothing more than a projection created by your envious ego. The book insists, there is nothing in this world truly worth envying. If you must envy something, let it be this: the ability to create one's own happiness. For example, a roadside mechanic who works with joy, pride, and wholeheartedness. People who devote themselves to what they do and lift others along the way are the ones truly worthy of admiration. In the end, let envy push you to compete only with your past self, not with anyone else. Now that we've unraveled the emotion of envy, let us move to a feeling everyone seeks, yet often misunderstands: joy and happiness. After confronting turbulent emotions like anger and envy, let us now turn to a feeling that every human being on this planet longs for and pursues: joy and happiness. We begin with a fascinating scientific insight. A French physician named Duchenne discovered something remarkable about the human smile. Only people who are truly joyful, radiant from within, can produce what is now called the Duchenne smile. It is the smile where the muscles around the eyes contract naturally and involuntarily. So ask yourself, how many times today have you smiled that kind of genuine smile? Joy and happiness exert one of the greatest influences on our lives. But why? 1. Joy makes us generous. Psychologists have proven this through experiments. In one study, participants who felt even a small dose of happiness inside the lab were far more likely to give money to a beggar waiting outside. So, which comes first, joy or generosity? According to the authors, the answer is simple. Both nourish each other. Be generous, and joy will find you. Be joyful, and generosity will flow effortlessly from you. 2. Joy makes us creative and improves our decisions. Joy doesn't make us reckless, pleasure does. Many people confuse excitement with true happiness and assume when people get too happy, they become foolish. But that is not joy, that is thrill-seeking. A truly joyful person is courageous, but also more careful than most. People who are genuinely happy tend to reject dull, monotonous tasks and choose work that challenges and inspires them. So don't hesitate to take on the harder tasks at work. This is how you cultivate happiness in your career and create more opportunities for personal growth. 4 categories of human happiness. The authors divide happiness into 4 main states based on 2 dimensions. Which one are you searching for? 1. Excited joy from external events, delight, common among teenagers, like winning a competition or earning an academic award. 2. Excited joy from within, achievement. This is the Aristotelian form of happiness, the satisfaction of seeing your life's purpose take shape, fulfilling meaningful goals, and improving yourself along the way. 3. Quiet happiness from external conditions, contentment. This is a peaceful, gentle satisfaction. Imagine sitting in the garden with your partner, sipping tea, watching your children play. You smile, not because of excitement, but because of fullness. 4. Quiet happiness from within, serenity. This is the calm that comes from understanding your purpose and accepting life's impermanence. You live with clarity, moving through experiences with grace and equanimity. None of these forms are superior to the others. Each carries its own kind of high, nourishing energy. To cultivate happiness, you must ask yourself, which form of happiness aligns with the life you desire? What truly makes you feel more alive? What happiness needs, and doesn't need happiness, is not dependent on wealth or age. We often fear growing older, imagining aging as something dreadful. But in truth, people tend to grow happier with age. The elderly can calmly tell the young, everything will pass, while the young often magnify every hardship until it becomes unbearable. So what does happiness truly depend on? 1. Health. Even a minor illness can dim your sense of happiness. 2. Personality. Are you someone who easily notices joy? Can you create happiness for yourself? 3. The quality of your marriage and relationships. Be thoughtful, deeply thoughtful, before choosing someone to marry. 4. Your beliefs. If you place all your faith in money, you will suffer endlessly. 5. Career and social environment. Work influences happiness more than we realize, and the moods of family and friends ripple into our own emotional world. In the end, the authors present a profound insight. Happy people are not happy because life treats them better. They are happy because they find joy in every situation. Happiness is knowing how to be satisfied in desire, yet staying aware and detached, unshaken by success or failure. It is the pursuit of hope in both our strengths and our imperfections. And now, after exploring joy, we must once again turn toward its opposite. An emotion every one of us encounters at some point in life: sadness. All of us, without exception, go through days that feel heavy and dim. Perhaps it's the sting of harsh criticism from a superior, the quiet heartbreak of losing a beloved companion, like a pet, or the struggle of coping with an illness that weakens your ability to live as you normally would. The authors point out that all these painful moments share one underlying theme: loss, loss of support, loss of trust, loss of meaning. We tend to celebrate joy and recoil from sorrow, as though sadness were an enemy we must avoid at all costs. But sadness is not our foe. It exists for a vital purpose. It teaches us to step away from harmful situations so we don't repeat the same suffering. Sadness forces us to reflect on our past mistakes and blind spots. And perhaps most beautifully, it awakens compassion in those around us and allows us to empathize deeply with the pain of others. In short, sadness is not as terrifying as we make it out to be. What is truly frightening is losing our balance, letting sorrow consume us until it swallows our entire sense of self. So when sadness descends, what should we do? The first and most crucial step is acceptance. Those with strong spiritual beliefs often move through sadness more easily because they see suffering as karma, fate, or simply a necessary lesson along one's chosen path. This perspective transforms the experience. Pain becomes a teacher, a moment of insight, a seed of wisdom waiting to unfold. With that shift, you begin to recognize the value, the quiet lessons hidden within the sorrow, and little by little, you feel lighter. Next, express your sadness carefully to someone you trust. Carefully, because expressing does not mean repeating your pain endlessly like a lament. Share it once or twice with intention, not as a ritual of suffering. Then, gently redirect your attention. Recall the activities that once brought you joy or the experiences you've long wished to explore. Engage with them. These sparks of pleasure and curiosity can slowly loosen the weight of sorrow. And if none of these steps ease the burden, do not hesitate. Seek professional support from a trained psychologist. Sorrow is part of being human, but you do not have to face it alone. The next emotion we need to unravel, one that many people carry quietly yet work hard to hide, is shame. Shame is a painful, uncomfortable feeling born from the belief that we are inferior, inadequate, or looked down upon by others. Many of the things we felt ashamed of as children, from an adult perspective, were completely unnecessary. You've probably seen it before. A child who doesn't want their parent to pick them up from school wearing old, unfashionable clothes or riding an inexpensive motorbike. Where do these feelings come from? According to the authors, shame appears when we fail to align with 4 social principles, expectations we subconsciously believe we must meet in order to belong. 1. The principle of consistency. Shame arises when we stand out from the group, especially in areas related to status or material possessions. For example, if all your classmates ride expensive scooters while you arrive on a much cheaper one, the contrast creates a sense of inferiority. 2. The principle of mutual support. Shame appears when our selfish actions are exposed. The book gives a vivid example. A girl secretly eats a cake her family sent her while her roommates are away. But they unexpectedly return and catch her in the act. She feels instantly mortified. 3. Physiological and developmental differences. Shame often emerges during puberty when the body changes. Some feel ashamed for maturing too early, others for maturing too late, or simply because their body looks different from their peers. 4. Competitive pressure. Shame surfaces when we fall behind others in performance. Imagine your entire team achieving excellent results while you alone fall short. It's difficult not to feel ashamed. Despite its discomfort, shame has a meaningful role. Its most important function is surprisingly positive. Shame encourages others to be more tolerant of us. Picture this. You drop your bag at the checkout counter and your belongings scatter across the floor. If you show no embarrassment and take your time picking everything up, the people waiting behind you will grow irritated and scold you. But if you quickly apologize and gather your things in a fluster, people soften. They empathize. Shame, therefore, helps us behave appropriately within society. However, excessive shame becomes harmful. Too much shame can push others away or make you seem unapproachable. Teenagers, for example, who constantly walk with their heads down or avoid eye contact, may gradually be excluded from their peer groups. Worse still, some people become victims of shame even when they have done nothing wrong. A heartbreaking example is survivors of assault. Even though society acknowledges they are innocent, their inner dignity refuses to accept it, creating immense internal pressure. So how do we manage shame before it turns into destructive energy? Step 1. Speak it aloud. A French Nobel-winning writer once said, "The worst thing about shame is believing that we are the only ones who feel it." But in reality, shame is visible. Others can sense it even when we try to hide it. Once spoken out loud, shame loses much of its weight. Step 2. Transform shame into mild embarrassment. Embarrassment is softer, gentler. Shame wounds the inner self, but embarrassment can fade with a single smile. Soften the feeling. Don't let it pierce you. Step 3. Reduce interaction with people who humiliate you. Some individuals, due to immaturity or insecurity, habitually mock others, expose their flaws, or make inappropriate jokes. Recognize their emotional patterns, understand them, and create space for yourself. Do not let yourself become their victim. Step 4. Look inward and examine your beliefs. Are you placing unreasonable demands on yourself? Are you trying to turn inferiority into impossible perfection? If you wish to transform your insecurity into strength, consider exploring Adler's What is the Meaning of Life? A book that teaches how to convert feelings of inadequacy into extraordinary inner power. After exploring envy, we now return to the sixth emotion, one that is often confused with envy, yet operates on a completely different level: jealousy. In relationships, we know it by an even more familiar name: romantic jealousy. The book explains that jealousy emerges primarily within romantic love and marriage. It arises when a person senses that their relationship is being threatened, even subtly. In many cases, jealousy is also a reflection of an inner insecurity, of not feeling confident enough in oneself or in the relationship. Jealousy is a complicated emotion because it often comes bundled with anger, fear, sadness, and sometimes even shame. Yet jealousy is not entirely harmful. It has a role rooted deep in human evolution. The authors propose that in ancient societies, where food was scarce and survival came first, jealousy served as a protective mechanism to preserve exclusivity. For instance, if a husband felt no jealousy, the child he raised might not be biologically his. If a wife allowed her husband to have too many partners, she risked not having enough resources because he would have to support other children. Though society has evolved, the genes that encode jealousy remain within us, helping preserve the sense of exclusivity in modern relationships. When jealousy becomes excessive. When jealousy spirals out of control, it manifests through three common behaviors: closely monitoring your partner, restricting their interactions with others, belittling or invalidating them. People who exhibit this form of jealousy usually operate from very low emotional energy. Their insecurity outweighs their trust. So how can we manage jealousy? Step 1. Acknowledge and face it. Just like every emotion, jealousy cannot be healed until you admit it exists. Step 2. Ask yourself deep, reflective questions. Have you been betrayed by a partner before? Did you experience deception from your parents growing up? Do you feel unattractive, unimportant, or unworthy of someone's long-term affection? These questions force you to look inward, uncovering the root of your insecurity, the true source of your jealousy. Step 3. Allow your partner some personal space. When you try to take away someone's privacy or freedom, the risks you fear do not disappear, they may actually increase. Granting your partner space is not losing control, it is building trust. Jealousy is natural. While excessive jealousy can damage your self-worth and strain your relationships, a healthy amount of jealousy is part of normal human psychology. When properly understood and managed, it can even add a spark, a small but meaningful spice, to your relationship. Finally, we arrive at the seventh emotion, the one human beings spend their entire lives trying to avoid, outrun, or silence: fear. For adults, the objects of fear are countless and varied: snakes, mice, insects, fear of heights, fear of tight spaces like elevators, fear of thunder, or fear of water. Especially that moment of panic when the water rises to your chest. Some people faint at the sight of blood. Others feel terrified at the idea of speaking in front of a crowd. Why are we afraid of these things? The authors explain that these fears are rooted in the dangers faced by early humans. Anything that once threatened survival became encoded into our emotional system, shaping fear into an innate mechanism that lives within each one of us. But our fears do not end with instinct. They also grow from the environment around us, and can be divided into three additional origins. 1. Culturally rooted fear. For example, the fear of ghosts, passed down from one generation to the next through stories, beliefs, and traditions. 2. Social fear. These fears arise from wanting to avoid conflict or rejection within a group. Children fearing their parents, students fearing their teachers, employees fearing their bosses. 3. Fear shaped by false beliefs. These fears are born purely from the mind, irrational and often exaggerated, feeling unsafe without reason, fearing betrayal from a partner, or fearing scarcity even when life is stable. These mistaken beliefs push people to control everything around them, or to fill emotional emptiness with material possessions. Fear is uncomfortable. It disrupts peace. And when fear turns into negative energy, it breeds anxiety and even self-doubt. When that happens, it's essential to learn how to manage it. Managing fear does not mean eliminating it. It means facing it wisely. 1. Acknowledge and express it. Don't hide it. When you're afraid, say so, openly and honestly. Tell someone you trust that you need help. 2. Learn to hold your fear. This means preparing yourself and gathering as much information as possible. If you're afraid of traveling alone to an unfamiliar place, plan your route, study your accommodations, and organize your itinerary. Knowledge dissolves confusion and weakens fear's grip on your energy. 3. Practice relaxation. Fear accelerates your heartbeat. When it rises, close your eyes and anchor yourself in your breath. Inhale, exhale. Let your breath soften the anxiety that fear brings. 4. Controlled confrontation. Gradually face your fears in a safe and manageable way. If public speaking frightens you, start with a small contest or a friendly presentation. If you're afraid of an animal, like cats, take small, slow steps toward interacting with them in a safe environment. These 7 emotions, anger, envy, joy, sadness, shame, jealousy, and fear, have accompanied us through every stage of our lives. I believe that through this journey of decoding our most intricate emotions, you've begun to see a deeper truth. These 7 emotions, whether seemingly negative or beautifully positive, all arise from unresolved conflicts within us. From our disappointment with life, our dissatisfaction with the present, our vague anxieties about the future, or the quiet ache of not feeling like we belong. The moment you recognize these hidden roots, you reclaim your power. You can finally speak to your emotions with calm clarity. I see you. And once you name them, once you allow them to be acknowledged, they lose their ability to dominate your life. Instead of being controlled by your emotions, you learn to stand beside them. So don't let time, circumstance, or the opinions of others push you into suppressing the feelings that are crying out inside you. You have every right to release your negative energy, wisely, gently, and at the right moment. Learn to flow with your emotions, not against them, so you can live each present moment in harmony with yourself and with the people around you. Remember this: embracing an imperfect self is the only path to genuine wholeness. Let us honor every emotion, welcome every part of who we are, and move forward with courage. Thank you for staying with us through this deep exploration. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, feel free to share it with someone who might need it today. And don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our weekly content on personal growth. Until next time, see you in the next video.